Okay guys, so the trades you're going to see in this video happened on Thursday, the 10th of July. And I had two trades this day. It's quite rare that I have two trades or more than one setup actually hit the limits, but this was one of those occasions. And the reason this is okay for me to do is because I don't get many trades in my strategy per month or per year. So if two come in one day and they're both valid setups, then I have no reason not to take the trade. So I took two trades in this day, which you're about to see. You're about to see me take the first trade, and then we're going to go through the trades. Okay guys, so I am looking to enter a trade here, but what I'm going to do first is calculate my risk. And just before we do that, so you can see here that this is the structure. So this here is the structure point that we actually broke out of this morning. I trade from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I have a 4-hour trading window. As you see, this 8 a.m. candle broke above this previous structure here. So we're looking for a retest into the zone to then go long for my normal 1 to 3 risk to reward. Obviously, it's a 1 to 3 if everything goes perfectly. There are management rules in place so that if price breaks structure in certain directions or certain things happen, then I will close the trade early. That is completely fine because that is what my data tells me to do. So now we are going to actually calculate the risk on this trade. As you see, I am using Stinu, which is an app I've been using for I think 4 or 5 years now. And one thing I want to tell you, go on settings and make sure your account currency is on the correct one. Many times I've been switching from personal account to prop firm accounts and I end up using the wrong lot size. So make sure you're on the right one. As you see, I'm trading with USD on this account. So then we can go and say $100,000 in the account balance. We're using 1% risk and the stop loss is 10 pips. Very, very simple. And we are trading with GBPUSD and then calculate. So now you can see that we're going to use 10 lots. Let's say we wanted to add a pip on for spread. We can then see quite easily, I need to change my lot size to 9.09. Or maybe you want to add 2 pips on. Okay, I can do 8.33. You don't have to recalculate it every single time. It's very simple and it is here. And you guys know the importance of risk management. And if you want to use Stinu like I do and I have been using it for many, many years, scan the QR code on the screen now or check out the link in the description. And as you see, we're going to go back to MetaTrader now and use the lot size it actually gave us. Buy limit 10 lots, and we're going to put in the 130 and 030, and as you can see here, you just add 30 pips, so it's 430, and there we go. So now we know on this trade we are risking $1,000 or 1% of the account because that is the amount that Stinu told us to risk. And the main reason my risk management is so important as we're watching price come down to the entry is because when you are backtesting in particular, you are going to most likely risk 1%. So let's say you make 30% a year on average, very, very good results, and that's on 1%. Then you know your certain drawdown for that 1%. But then you go into the live markets, you see a setup you like, or you see a setup you don't like, and you adjust your risk. Your results are then going to be completely different to your tested results. So you can't expect to have results that are similar to your tested results if you aren't trading exactly the same. If you're going to increase your risk to 2% on every single trade, this is okay. You just multiply your tested results by 2, and that is what you can expect in the live markets. Whereas if you're doing 2% on some trades, 0.5% or 1% on other trades, it can be quite difficult, especially if the ones on 2% risk you lose, the ones on 0.5% risk you win. Very, very hard to actually maintain a profitable strategy if you are trading like that. So we're coming very, very close to the entry now. As you see, we're around 2.5 pips away. So we'll see if we can tag in here. What we are going to do is check if there's any news. Okay, we don't have any high impact news today, which is a great sign. Not really anything tomorrow either, which is always good. You know, it is the worst thing ever when you are looking to trade, or you get into a trade, then in 2 hours time, there's high impact news. It kind of just ruins the whole trade, and it basically just ruins the whole trade if you don't hit take profit before the news, that is. Because it's always annoying closing out before news when price is going perfectly in your favor, but you just don't want to take the risk of slippage. And we've calculated our 1% risk, and that is in normal market conditions. That's what we are likely to lose. Whereas slippage you can't account for. You don't know what that news event is going to do. You don't know the slippage that is likely to occur in the future. And I've obviously had some brutal slippage in the past. I know people that have had brutal slippage in the past too. When you're risking 1%, you lose 3%. It's not a great situation to be in. And that's why I would always suggest people to not trade news for that exact reason. So what I'm going to do now is leave this trade and just go about my day. I don't want to be sat here staring at the charts the whole time. But if we do get tagged in, if I do have an update on this trade for you guys, I will let you know very, very soon. So you've now seen me enter the limit for the first trade, and I'm basically here to show you what happened on that trade and what happened later in the session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the second trade for now. Then we're going to go back onto the charts. So this was the first trade. And as you can see, we did hit stop loss. And this one was in one candle. I always say I like to lose quick and I like to win not quick, but slightly slower than a loss. Because when you're looking at this, 10 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit, you're not going to win in one candle, but you can lose in one candle. And I want to know immediately if I'm trading in the wrong direction. And as you see in this scenario, we knew that immediately after 15 minutes in the trade. So this trade was completely fine. We basically took the stop loss. But what it meant was, obviously you've seen this trade, it's minus 1% for the day at this point, and we are at 8:30 at this point. So we're 30 minutes into my trading window and we are minus 1%. So we're going to delete this here and I'm going to give you a little idea of what happened in the second trade. So second trade, again, exact same plan, exact same strategy. This was the low here. Obviously we had this high here, this high here. This was obviously the low that caused that break above, but unfortunately it didn't hold. But what it gave us is a nice break to the downside. And as you guys know, I love entering on a retest when it breaks to the downside like this. I like to do the same when it breaks to the upside, as we saw with this trade. With this one, break to the downside, beautiful, beautiful setup. And we did actually get into the trade. If I go onto the object tree here and I add the short position, this was the trade we actually took short. So at this point here, we set a limit. And this limit, again, let's see how many pips away that was. I think there's around 8 pips. Yeah, so 8 pips away from the entry. So it's not even too far to retest. And obviously from here, 18 pips to the stop loss. If we look at the next candle, you can see the next candle did tag us in. And I've seen, based on previous data, when price does retest very quickly, or usually on the next candle, the trade is more likely to win than, let's say, retesting an hour or two later, just based on what I've seen in the past. And then you see the next candle, we did drop into profit. But we haven't yet broken the structure, but we also haven't failed to break the structure. We haven't tried to break the structure yet, so it's okay for me to hold this trade. And as we keep going, trade runs on, we retest the entry, but again, this is completely fine. The reason this is fine, because this is the high for me. This is the new low. So this isn't the recent high. So this creating the lower high is completely fine for me to stay in the trade. But if this came up here, broke the structure and continued to the upside, again, I would be out of that trade very, very quickly. But you can see here that then price did continue dropping, and then we broke the structure to the downside here. As you see, if I just draw a line across there, we did continue dropping and we hit the take profit for 3%. And if you do some quick maths, -1 plus 3 is plus 2%. So we made 2% on the day, which was very, very good going in my opinion. And if you have a day like this, you are able to limit your losses. You are able to capitalize on some profits when the trades are valid, obviously, and just trade the strategy basically. If I stopped trading after that one loss and I didn't want to revenge trade, again, trading the plan and strategy is different from revenge trading. If it fits the plan and it's the same strategy you're always trading, then I don't see it as revenge trading, unless you have rules against entering 2 in one day or risking more than 1.5% in a day. That's maybe your cutoff daily loss limit. Again, this could stop you taking this trade, but for me that wasn't an issue, so I'm okay with actually doing it. And the account I'm actually trading this on, you guys will hopefully see very, very soon. I'm planning to do a series on this account, but I couldn't not share the profits we actually made on this trade. If I actually show you on the phone the profits, so it was the 10th of July, and you see we had another trade GBPUSD before that, but you can take a look at the bottom 3 trades. Nice profits on this trade, which is again great going. And I did actually go into more detail in this trade in the mentorship. So you can see here I have done 35 trade breakdowns of multiple different setups that I'm actually taking, going through all the details. So if you are interested in learning how I trade, you can simply go to linktrading.com and check out the mentorship, and you can see all the reviews. Very nice. And I will put on the screen next to me here and here some recent results from the group members. So if you are looking to join, learn how I trade, take the same setups as me, like many people in the group did, be sure to check it out. There's a link in the description. And I hope you did enjoy this little breakdown and reasoning behind the trades I actually took and why I took 2 in one day and still traded the same even after a loss, because most people see that as revenge trading, but I want to tell you that it's not always revenge trading to do so.